Thanks for joining us. We're going to talk all about a dairy farm in Connecticut, the Stearns Farm, or now known as Mountain Dairy. And my guests are President Craig Stearns and his nephew, Jason. So thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
And thanks so much for bringing all of this milk. All right, so your farm goes back to 1772, so more than 10 generations. You're the 10th generation?
I'm the 9th generation.
Ninth? You're the 10th.
Yes.
All right, so you're the president, so you get to rule the roost, right?
I guess so, yeah.
All
I
right.
get to demand which one.
So I got introduced to you guys by this. So my daughter brings this over on Christmas Eve, and we have this. And I immediately looked on the bottle, which I loved because it's an actual bottle, which took me back to my childhood when milk came in a bottle. I'm 150 years old, so I knew that. But this is just awesome. So I called you guys up. You said you'd come on to tell us about a farm, which I love farms in Connecticut. So you go back to 1772. And let's look at some pictures about that. There's a plaque somewhere on your farm and store. So there it is, Century Farm, right?
That's on our farmhouse.
That's on the farmhouse.
Yes.
As we go to the next picture, that just happens to be...
That's my great-grandfather, Robert Stearns.
And he, was he there to take it to dairy, or during his generation, do you know what happened? This was in the 1800s sometime.
Yeah, we started in the dairy business in 1871. I believe it was Robert's father that started in the dairy business.
Because initially you were mulberries, right, for the silk industry?
Right, exactly.
So then how did somebody say, hey, let's go to milk?
Well, they just kind of evolved into that. They always had cows. They had oxen when they came. They came from the Killingly area of Connecticut originally.
Okay.
And I believe that was Boaz Stearns that migrated from Killingly to Mansfield.
Originally from England?
Yes, yes,
okay.
we're English. Yeah.
All right, there you go.
English descent.
All right, next picture is the house, right?
Yeah, that's the farmhouse.
Is it still standing?
Yep, my brother actually lives on one side of it.
All right, and there's back in the day when somebody's moving brush.
There's a worker. It's a hay wagon. It's
all right.
loose hay.
Here's a lot of...
used to do it back in the day.
And here's a lot of Stearns.
Yep.
That go way back.
So the baby on the far right, that's my father. The gentleman in the center, up in the center top, that's my grandfather. And the gentleman seated and the ladies seated are my great-grandparents.
Jason, you're being very quiet. You're just studying.
I'm learning history, too.
Yeah, you're learning history, too.
I'm not very good on the family history part, so if I'm messing anything
That's
up.
okay. I mean, you go back to 1772, and then this is just on the farm, kids playing, you know, in the winter time, and here's another shot.
That's my father and my uncles.
Just so cute. And the next shot is the same thing.
That would have probably been in the... Let's see, my father was born in 1929, so that would have been in the late 30s probably.
Which brings up, you guys went through the Great Depression, which could have not have been fun on a family farm.
Well, it wasn't a good time for my grandfather actually brought the business out of bankruptcy, and that would have been when my father was about 3 it started, so that was probably about 1932, 1933.
Sure.
So that was during the Depression.
And then the next picture is, I think, probably in the milk area of the farm.
That was the old bottling or milk plant, I should say, because they weren't bottling then. It was in cans back then.
All right, so let's come back to more modern times. Whose idea was it to put this in a bottle and not a carton?
My cousins, for eggnog anyway, my cousin started doing that in 1995, I believe it was the first year that we put eggnog in a glass bottle, kind of as a commemorative type of thing. The first
so every year this label's different?
Yes. Yep.
So I haven't been collecting these since the very beginning.
Well, you've been missing something.
That makes me sad.
I have lots of people that have every year from...
Oh my gosh.
I have pretty much every year. So.
I may have to write to you or something. But
so
anyway.
we're new in the Haven, so you've been missing out.
Yeah,
on
so
that.
you're in Big Wise. Where else are you?
Lots of independent grocery stores all through the state, and lots of convenience stores, and we're in lots of colleges and schools.
Just in Connecticut or elsewhere?
No, Massachusetts, Rhode Island. We actually just picked up Yale this last semester. We've been in Yukon for over a year now in all the dining halls.
Oh, that's awesome. And do you serve this chocolate milk? Because I'm told this is really great stuff.
It's world famous, they say.
World famous. I'm going to shake. You know what? I'm going to try it right now.
Okay,
Why not?
I have to try it.
I did shake it, I think.
Yeah. Hopefully you like it.
What's not to like? It's chocolate.
Do you like the square bottle? This is the.
I do.
Yeah, because we're doing the round ones, old-fashioned ones. This was the year we kind of changed it up a little bit.
Oh, is this good?
Yeah, we don't skim off our whole milk, so it's like creamer. It's like
so it is. It's like a milkshake.
Yes, pretty close.
That's 4% butterfat.
instead of the
Oh,
standard
it's even better.
3.25.
So we're not skimping here on the calories.
No.
No, that's very good. Boy, is that good.
Well, now they say milk fat's good for you, so
You know
it's
what?
healthy.
Listen, everything in moderation, right? All right, so you have the eggnog, you have the chocolate milk, you have regular milk. What other products do you have?
Oh, we do heavy creams, light creams, half and half. We do the chocolate milk. We do the eggnog during the Christmas holiday time, and then we do whole milk, 2% skim milk, 1%.
But this is the only one in the bottle.
Yeah, we don't do glass bottles. We did glass bottles years and years ago when we were kids, but we got away from the glass bottles.
Do you think they should come back because it's environmentally correct, or is it just too expensive to do that?
Well, the washing and all that isn't that much better than the plastic because of the materials and the chemicals you have to use to wash the bottles. So environmentally, I don't really see a big benefit from glass.
And then all the fuel that you gotta use because you gotta steam them clean.
Right. So what's the best thing about working on a farm, Jason? And what do you do there?
Me, I'm actually the sales manager.
Okay, so you're the guy getting it in the stores.
Well, I get there for 4. I help load the trucks to get them out, and then I go home, shower, and then I go hit the road all day and knock on doors and try to get in the stores and customer relations.
I think people who don't work in a family farm have no idea the work that goes in. It never stops.
No, 7 days a week.
Cows have to be milked, no matter when.
Yeah.
How many cows do you have?
We're milking on 2 facilities, about 500 cows right now.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, how many, is that the height, or have you had more cows than that?
That's the height.
Okay.
Yep.
We're actually growing. We just acquired that second farm back in October.
Tell me, is that, now you're about 3 miles away from Yukon in stores. What's the second thing that you acquire, the second building?
It's another farm that's over in Canterbury. A couple
okay.
farmers that were retiring, and it was a good opportunity for us instead of just so.
So will you expand your product line, or
Yes.
you will? Can you say what you're going to expand it to?
We're looking at some cheeses and things like that.
Oh, that's terrific.
Yes.
All right, so here's the logo. And this, you changed this logo a few years ago to make it more representative of your farm, or how did this change?
Well, they tried to, I guess, spruce it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I've been serving as the president for the last year. So the previous regime did that, but the intent was to spruce it up a little bit and make it pop a little bit more than the old logo. They didn't spend a lot of time on design and things like that on the old label. So I think it was just a process of growing the brand and trying to develop a recognizable logo for the brand.
How many dairy farms are left in the state of Connecticut? Do you guys know?
I think it's less than 90 now.
90.
So before I came back to the family farm, I was a dairy nutrition consultant, and so I'm pretty familiar with all the dairies around the state.
I mean, Borden just closed because people are drinking less milk. They're drinking other things. So do you have to expand your products and go to, I don't know, almond milk or oat milk or things like that, or are you just staying in your lane?
We're going to stay true to our roots and stick with dairy milk.
Over the generations, and you guys are only 4 years apart, we'll establish that. In the family farm, each generation does something different or adds to the farm. What happens in the generations?
We both left years ago because it was all controlled by family members. And
okay.
He went, did his dairy dietitian.
And what did you do?
I had a landscape company, and then I moved to Florida, and then I came back. And
why'd you come back?
I have no idea. No idea.
Does farming get into your blood?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole reason we came back. It's there, you know. It's in our heart, it's in our blood.
But you're 10th generation, so what do you want to see happen with the farm now?
Keep growing. I mean, there's only a few of us out there in New England that milk our own cows, bottle our own milk, and distribute out of one plant. You know, we don't sell into the pool, you know. So like other farms, they sell all their milk into a pool and it's bottled under different label names, and we got to control what we sell. So if we milk 500 cows, we got to make sure we can sell 500 cows worth of milk. So it's a very fine line that we got to work.
If I want to come there and tour, do you guys give tours of Mountain Dairy? What happens on the farm if I come up to see you guys?
Yeah, come on up.
I mean, are there hay rides? Are there, milk tastings? What do you guys do?
We're not doing much ag tourism at this point in time.
Okay.
The goal is to move into that in the future. And Jason and his wife do have a store on a adjacent road that right now is not tied to Mountain Dairy per se.
What's in the store?
We do pies. We sell a lot of this stuff, and then we sell some ice cream that's made with our product.
Oh my gosh, what's the ice cream called?
It's just, we call it Stern's Farm Stand. It's what it's called. But
Okay.
You know.
And who's making the pies?
Oh, well, people do.
Yeah.
A couple different people.
My
for
mouth
us.
is watering already. I'm just pretending it's summertime. So if people want to describe Mountain Dairy, how would you describe your farm?
Well, I think Jason started to allude to it. We're unique because we control the process all the way through to the consumer. So we decide what crops we grow. We decide how we harvest those crops. We decide what we feed to our cows every day. Like I said, I'm a dairy nutritionist, so I do the diets myself. So we control all the way up to the cow. We control the care of the cows. We control the husbandry of the cows. We control how they're milked. We have the bottling plant. We control how it's bottled, and the controls there, and then all the way to the logistics and the deliveries. We have a fleet of our own trucks that we deliver. So we're delivering 5 days a week. We typically have 6 or 7 trucks on the road full time. And so from end to end, we control the whole process.
Is that unusual, that everything's controlled by you guys?
Yeah, it's extremely unusual.
Yeah, what is there, 15 people left in the country or something like that have the license that we do?
You tell me. So why did you decide to do that? Because it's so much work that you're not, peddling it out to other people. Because you just want
It's just been handed down generation after generation. This is how we've done it.
I think in this day and age, too, is coming back. People want to know where their food comes from. And so I think having that...
Farm to fork, right?
Yeah,
They want to know.
And we can control that. So I think that's big, and we want to maintain that. That's how our family's always done it. Like, you asked about almond milk and things like that, and staying true to our roots. I mean, as the whole thing. And yeah, it might. A lot of big companies, well, they specialize and they broaden things out, and they have people do this part or that part or whatever because more efficient. And being small, we're a small business. We have 30 to 35 employees, so we're a small business. So yeah, sometimes it's inefficient to do all these different aspects of it. And people have recommended to me, well, why don't you have this piece go somewhere else? Well, I don't want that piece to go somewhere else because I want to be able to, we raise our animals from calves. They're born on our farm, so we raise them all the way up so we can control the genetics and everything that goes into it. And
That's wonderful.
And so
and
you
your
know
name's
where,
on it.
totally know where your food's coming from, or your milk in this case, is coming from when you buy Mountain Dairy. Like I said, we don't mess around with that process. We don't intend to mess around with that process, and that's the direction we're going in.
That's terrific. Jason, you want to add anything to that?
We actually had one of our employees who's been there for 20 years. His name's Corey, and that's what he said one day is, I would work 100 hours a week with you, but my name's not on the bottle. And it makes sense.
Well, you control it. Well, I wish you continued success, and on the new farm that you just bought, I can't wait to hear about the cheeses, and maybe you'll come back and share those with us. But in the meantime, get yourself one of these bottles. They're terrific, and they serve as a vase, too. And this chocolate milk is terrific. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Spend all night kissing and the bottle's right here, then who else is missing? Got a little sidetracked, if I'm as a wish, and I found the keys to the door, but it's also a metaphor. Need to keep locked in the grocery store, but mine, just to save time, skip right ahead to the next ride.